All right. Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Nataliia Bielova. I'm a research scientist at INRIA, and we'll be talking about cookie banners. So I see a cookie banner. Is it even legal? This talk is a dialogue between me, computer scientist, and Christiana Santos, who is a legal scholar. And it's a joint work based together with Celista and Matt. All right, so who has not yet visited this website? I guess all of you have. And when you visit this website from the EU, you see this, right? So you see a cookie banner. So why do we see cookie banners at all? Why suddenly they are following us everywhere on the web? So let's ask the lawyer.
Hello, Nataliia. The scope of the GDPR applies to the processing of personal data of EU users by a controller that is established either inside and outside of the EU, and that is offering goods or services or monitors users' behaviors of these EU users. The Privacy Directive, on the other side, protects users' privacy in online communications such as websites. This very directive requires consent for processing data via cookies or similar tracking technologies. And what does this mean? This means that websites need to collect users' consent before any processing of data through cookies, well, at least for non-necessary cookies. And the common method to collect consent is through the use of cookie banners, which appears whenever a user visits a website for the very first time. So cookie banners have indeed two functions: inform the users about their personal data being collected for a purpose, and to collect users' consent to either accept or reject cookies.
Okay, thanks, Christiana. So this means that cookie banners appear because of the legal requirements, specifically in the EU. So now you will see some cookie banners, and I will ask you to think whether these banners are compliant with the law or not. What is your feeling about that? What I would like you to do, for those of you who are following us on Zoom, is to raise your hand when I ask you a question. Unfortunately, right now, I don't see the voting, so I will ask maybe Wouter to check how many people have raised their hands when I ask a question. Okay, are you ready? So let's go. The first banner, Twitter. I'm sure many of you have been to Twitter. So the Twitter banner is saying, by using Twitter service, you agree to our use of cookies. We and our partners operate globally and use cookies, including for analytics, personalization, and ads. How many of you think that this banner is compliant? Can you please raise your hand if you think it's compliant? Unfortunately, I don't see right now.
If you open the participant window, you see the count for no going up like crazy.
Ah, okay, great. Let me see that. Okay. So many people think that this is not compliant. Right. Good. Okay, so please remove your votes. Let's go to the next slide. How many of you have seen this website? I think many. I think maybe all of you. On this website, we see a cookie banner that says, this website places cookies on your device to give you the best user experience. Please vote if you think it's whether this is compliant or not. Jeremy says it's not. Michael, no. Ian, no. No. Okay, many people say no. Come on, nobody says yes. Ever? Oh, Gunesh, you want to say yes? Or you say hi? I don't get it. Okay. Oh, Sassy says this is compliant. Okay. Okay, so we have one positive vote for this one. Great. If we go back to Zoom, we see another cookie banner. And this one, you notice, we talk always about the purposes, right? So for what purpose our data will be used. And in the Zoom banner, we see that the cookies are used for login, for secure login, for collection of statistics, site functionality, deliver content alerts to your interest. A lot of different things, a lot of different purposes. I'm not going to ask you to vote on each and every banner, even though you took the habit. That's great. Wow, many of you say that this is compliant. Right, interesting. Okay. Next, finally, let's go to CNN. Right, so this is a basic news website. Again, many of you have visited that. CNN tells us that we use cookies and similar technologies to understand how you use our website, how to improve your experience. It includes personalization, ad selection, delivery, reporting, measurement, content selection, delivery, reporting, information, storage, and access. Okay, I was quick on purpose, but that's a lot of purposes. Again, it's hard to understand what's going on there. All right. Oh, Matthew thinks that this is compliant. All right. Okay, so let's see. How can we actually understand when the banner is compliant with the law? We computer scientists think, well, it's easy. Let's read GDPR. But let's ask the expert.
Oh, you need to be an expert to answer that. Not only reading the GDPR will give you a complete set of answers. It requires analysis of many legal documents, such as guidelines of the European Data Protection Board, guidance of data protection authorities, decisions of the European Court of Justice. But a consent request must be free, specific, informed, and unambiguous, revocable, given prior to any data collection, and asked in a readable and accessible manner. So how does it apply to cookie banners? Check our 70-page paper. We came up with 22 legal and technical requirements.
Thanks, Christiana. So in order to understand whether a banner is compliant or not, you need to keep in mind the 22 requirements that we have explicitly explained on 75-page document. Or maybe there is another way. You can install cookie glasses. That's a browser extension that's been mainly developed by our colleague Celeste Talmat. And the cookie glasses allows you to look inside the cookie banners. It's available on Chrome and on Firefox. Okay, so let's see how this works. Let's go back to the CNN website. Okay, so when we go to CNN website, we see the banner and we click there to try to understand how can we manage cookies and what are the options. What we actually see are different purposes that are provided by this banner. And for some of the purposes, we can agree or disagree. Okay. All right, so we've seen different purposes for which our data will be used, but we may also want to know who is going to use our data. And in this banner, we can see vendors. So vendors are third parties that are tracking us and that are able to collect our data for those purposes. So in this particular banner, when you scroll down, you will see that there are really many third parties that have the consent to use your data when you click I accept. And for each of them, you see a number of purposes for which they will be using the data. Okay, that's what happens in the interface. What happens behind the interface? Let's go back again to the same website, to CNN. And this time, we will simply visit this again in the clean browser. So we will see again the cookie banner. And the only thing we will do is we will click I accept. That's what most of the people will do. We will just want to get rid of the banner. Now let me show you what cookie glasses is able to show you when you click I accept. So here in the corner on the right, top right corner, now you see cookie glasses that's installed. And cookie glasses shows you that you have actually a lot of vendors and a lot of purposes to which you have consented. All right, so this is the list. Let me show you this in a more readable form. So when you click I accept on this website, it means that you have given your consent to 606 third-party vendors. I actually tried to put all those vendors in one slide here, so you can have a look. And I also agree By clicking accept, I agree to 5 different purposes for which my data will be used. So that's really a lot. Now, does cookie glasses work on every website? No. It works on websites that support particular type of banners that implement the IAB Europe Transparency and Consent Framework. In our work, we have analyzed and we have measured how exactly different cookie banners of this framework behave, and we found out violations. For example, we have found some websites that pretended you accepted even before you clicked on the banner. We also found websites that register your positive consent, even if you explicitly reject it. You can see more details in our paper. And interestingly, we already have an impact. We tried to manually analyze again the most popular websites that we reported in our paper, and we found out that most of them has fixed their practices. So you can see more details and historical videos of those websites on our page here. Okay, so this is nice, but still, there are a lot of strange purposes and there are a lot of advertisers that will track me just because I click accept. Is this even legal? Let's ask Christiana.
Not always. We studied the purposes predefined in the framework, the legal basis used for these purposes, and the usage by advertisers. We compared and they don't match. We found that many advertisers actually use this framework unlawfully. They use the way they want. For example, look at the purpose ad selection delivery reporting. It requires consent as the legal basis, but 175 advertisers use legitimate interests for this purpose. Look at measurement purpose. It requires consent, but 199 advertisers use legitimate interests instead. We have more results in the paper. Have a look.
Right, so there are many advertisers, so third-party vendors, who are supposed to use consent in order to be legally compliant, but they are not using it. So who is responsible? Is this the IAB Europe that provided the framework, the advertisers, the cookie banner providers, the website publishers, or maybe users?
Well, it depends.
Oh, come on. It depends is the usual lawyer's answer. We need some concrete answers here.
Let's see. It's complex to attribute responsibility of non-compliant banners. Let's see. So, the IAB Europe TCF provides a framework and lets the advertisers choose the legal basis and the purposes. So if the choice is limited, the IAB is involved. Advertisers choose the legal basis for each purpose. So yes, they can be liable. Cookie banner providers, they design the banners, so they can be liable. Website publishers have their share of responsibility if they choose non-compliant banners. Users, they just click the accept button and that's it.
All right, so this is really complex. There are many players and it's not clear who is supposed to behave in which ways so that the whole system is compliant. So what should we do next? Should we annoy the data protection authorities or maybe become their best friends? Well, NOIB, the NGO in Europe, has filed already a complaint to the CNIL, the French Data Protection Authority. By using our tool, they found violations on those websites. So please, if you want, do like NOIB to make a bigger impact. Currently, we're also writing an open letter to the European Data Protection Board. We want to raise awareness about the lawfulness of consent in the cookie banners, and specifically in those of IAB Europe TCF, and why it matters to the data subjects. We really invite you to use cookie glasses to uncover what's happening behind the interface of cookie banners. It's an open source tool, so you can check the source code on GitHub, and you can easily install it on Firefox and Chrome. Finally, we would like to invite you to share your ideas with us and your contacts and help us change the cookie banner practice in the EU, but also in the world, because as you know, CCPA in the US is enforceable from July 1st, 2020. So thank you for your attention. All this work would not have been possible without my amazing collaborators, the legal scholar Christiana Santos, and the computer scientist Celine Stonematt. Thanks.